Have you ever lost $6,000 like that? Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Welcome to another Dark Stories of Yu-Gi-Oh! Today, we're going to be recalling some events of another story that I remember hearing over the course of time, and this is going to be called the $6,000 mistake, because this is a story of, quite honestly, some stupidity that kind of was a good laugh to laugh about over the course of time. I don't remember the exact details of this, and I can't even tell you if this story is real and accurate, but for entertainment purposes only, we're here to talk about it. So, this duelist has 2 YCS prize card Minervas, and it has been a long weekend. We've been playing such a huge event. You know, I've been having, a great time communicating with the community, having a blast. Like how I insert myself into this story has nothing to do with me, though. I've been having a blast with the community, and I go to hop into the car. All right, lo and behold, I forgot that my deck box with these prize cards and a couple of other things are on the roof of my car, and I drive off, forgetting that those key cards are in that box. Welcome to the $6,000 mistake. And this is the story of how a duelist lost $6,000 by simply being worn down, tired, and just, wow, I forgot that those cards were on the roof of the car. Now, there are all sorts of stories that you'll hear about in the course of this game's history that, either you misplaced something got lost, or, you lost $6,000 because you were so tired that you forgot to put your box that these cards were in into your bag. Now, this is a very insane life lesson here, actually. One, to always constantly watch your stuff. And I'm not going to not be able to enforce that enough, especially, in the loss prevention side of the game out here. Number 2, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a game that we have all seen over the course of time that will drain you mentally. If you have played this game competitively, people seem to sit here and they go, I can play 9 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh! Easy. All right, and it's like, you can bet your ass you can't. All right? I have been through the gauntlet. I can tell you that playing, starting at waking up at 7 a.m. in the morning to be at the event by 8 a.m., eating the quickest breakfast that you can actually have the venue not have any food. So you've been up since 7 a.m. All right, there have been times at these events have gone till midnight, 1 a.m. All right, so, we've been up since 7. You have not eaten. There is no lunch available at the venue. And you will have to, have dinner probably at McDonald's at midnight, 1 a.m. So, and that's also I'm playing a 9-10 round event. So I can understand how you're mentally checked out. And people don't give this game enough credit for the mental endurance that you have to go through the gauntlet of competitive play. I can understand how somebody makes a $6,000 mistake like this, because if you've really sat through the gauntlet of this game, now obviously modern era times have changed quite a lot, actually. End of time rules have changed. KDS isn't crashing on us. I do want to, that's a story for another day, having to rebuild an entire tournament, but it's just that. So I can understand the mental fortitude that you have to sit through for this can allow you to make the simplest of mistakes out here. And there's nothing that you can really do about it other than blame yourself and go, yeah, I fucked up. That's all there is to it. But imagine a story out here where you lose 2 prize cards and a crap ton of other cards by simply just forgetting that they exist. Now, I will tell you, interestingly enough, that this is a one-of-a-kind story. I have never heard of another scenario in this entire game. Now, I'm sure it's happened, all right? Not to say that, everything that I know all, I see all, I am the oracle. That's not how this works. I only can read the stories, the damned all things, that you do read from, these occasions out here. And there is, once again, no way of verifying if this has happened to somebody, but if it has happened, it's been nowhere on the scale of $6,000. All right, considering the fact those prize cards are $3,000 alone at this point in time, and you lost 2 of them. Now, modern era times aside, back then, things might not have been on the grand scale that they are. But it's crazy to think about that people could be like, well, it's clearly their fault. Yeah, it is their fault, 150%. Anything that you could do to prevent this is something you can do, but to go, it's 100% unjustified, that's not the case. The grind through the Yu-Gi-Oh! Metagame will leave you as a pile of pudding if you're playing this game competitively. That's all there is to it, alright? Now, back onto the loss prevention side of things out here. It's always a good thing to watch your stuff at these events. I'm not going to lie to you. I think there's always going to be, in the realm of thievery, somebody's going to want your... I miss the stuff speech at events. So one thing I always had that was consistent, where, somebody else in that room wants your stuff more than you want your own stuff. And this is why when you go to an event, you limit what you bring to an event. Obviously, your deck and, some tokens, a calculator, pen and paper, and quite possibly, a trade binder. If you're over here and you're, like these backpack vendors I see, bringing, the old wheelaroo back behind them going chugga, chugga, chugga. They got 14 binders in this thing. It's gas powered. They can ride this thing throughout the convention center. Those sorts of people. Those people tend to get kicked out of the event because there's just too much there. But having a trade binder, sitting there engaging with the community, and closely watching your stuff. You see this one binder here in my hand? You see how I close it up and then I insert it back into my stuff? Well, one, make sure you have a functioning backpack. Can't tell you how many times I've actually walked around my backpack open because the zipper split. Story for another day, though. Actually, nothing was stolen out of that. Actually, some very nice Samaritans pointed it out to me. They're like, hey, your binder's going to fall out. I'm like, huh? And I've actually come to find out about it from my own personal experiences. I have almost walked up and left my binder 4 times in the course of playing this game. So, yeah, 4. There was one YCS Chicago back in, 20, in the 2010s, somewhere in there. I just straight up did a trade with somebody, and I was like, thank you, and I just went, walked away, and they were like, hey, you left your binder here. I was like, huh? Oh, sorry, thank you for telling me about that. I almost made my own, couple $100 mistake, but nothing, adds up to, whee, there goes $6,000. Bye, $6,000. I'm gonna miss you. It's that kind of stuff that you gotta appreciate in the game. So, moral of this story, as a takeaway, 1, nobody wants your stuff more than you want, or somebody else wants your stuff more than you want your stuff. Number 2, pack light. Number 3, don't mentally wear yourself down to the point that you're willing to make a $6,000 mistake. I don't know why you have enough cards on you to make a $6,000 mistake, but, sometimes it just happens out here, especially in the older days of this game. You have so many people, the sheer amount of floor vendors that existed. It's crazy to think about just, having that. And then, of course, the amount of thieves, too. But that's a story for another day. So, what do you guys think about, leaving $6,000 cards on the top of your car and driving off? I can't believe that. Is there any real way to tell you if that story's real or not? Well, I'm going to leave that one to you to think about if it's real or not. So please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. And, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the $6,000 loss. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.